Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ginger Broderick, and I'm the host of the Ginger New York TV show. Welcome to Ginger Fridays here at M&N TV Studios. We are live here in New York City, and it is an exciting day today. There is a CD release date today with our upcoming guest. Eljuri is her name. She was born in Ecuador, and then she moved to New York City, and she's an activist and so many great things we're going to hear about from her today. Also joining us is Alex Alexander. He's back as my co-host, bringing in all his great friends. So I want to welcome Eljuri. Did I get your...
En vivo, we're here live, live.
Welcome, Alex.
Good to see you, Ginger.
Thank you again for bringing in your friends.
Yes, thank God.
You know, I see
Great
a lot
to be here.
I
Great
see
to
a
be
lot
here.
of teasing behind the scenes, so be careful, be nice to her. It's a big day for her today.
Yes.
Congratulations.
CD release, yes.
Number 4.
Yes, it's the fourth CD as a solo artist.
As a solo
Yes,
artist.
and it's very exciting. It's actually today it dropped. So we're
And it was
thrilled
just
to
a
be here.
coincidence that you're here today on today's date.
Yes, it's perfect. It's
So,
synergy.
wonderful. I thought maybe you rearranged your whole schedule for us.
Magic is in the air, Ginger. Magic is in the air.
Wonderful.
We have a picture of the cover here. This is the new CD,
Resiste.
Resiste, for Eljuri.
Oh, how wonderful. And you're on the album as
Yes.
well,
I am,
right?
Yes, he is.
actually.
He talks a lot about you, so I was familiar with your name when he suggested you come here for the show, and I'm really glad that it could be on such a special day
Yes,
for
Alex
you.
has performed on many of my songs, and we've toured internationally together, and just
He has a lot of great
un
friends.
hermano mío.
And we had a great time.
So tell us a little bit about this album, Resist?
Resist in English, yes. Resiste en español. Resiste is the name of the title track as well as the album, and it's a collection of my reggae flavored songs. I'm a songwriter first and singer and guitarist as well, but the songs kind of usually dictate the arrangements. And in my albums, En Paz, Fuerte, and La Lucha, my previous solo albums, they each had a couple of reggae songs. So then I was writing new material, and given today's climate of the need for change and for us to rise up even harder and resist and persist, I was inspired to write Resiste, the song, and then we decided, my record label said, well, let's put out a collection. And here we are.
How wonderful. And you have some upcoming events this summer, I know, at Joe's Pub in August.
Yes.
And then you're going to be at a music festival, I believe, in
Pennsylvania. Yes, yes.
Very good.
It's a very exciting time musically to help others empower themselves. And I often find that what I'm doing is a reflection of what people tell me, and that comes out in the songs. I sing mostly in Spanish. So being an immigrant, as you mentioned, I was born in Ecuador, mi mamá de Líbano, mi papá de España.
Wow.
Yo nací en Ecuador, and then I was born in Ecuador, and then was raised in New York City. So I'm a New Yorker since I was a baby girl.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Good for you. So my next question, I really would like to know how you feel about today's climate on
Yes,
immigration. It's heartbreaking.
Yes, it's unacceptable, really, what's going on, and the fact that I have the good fortune of having a voice from my through my songs and my my singing voice, to be able to generate kind of momentum around implementing change and helping people find their voice, give a voice to the voiceless. Playing reggae is clearly a demonstration of what that represents. That that we have to, the people have to take their own it back from the people that are in power that are not representing us. So we have to take our.
It's amazing to watch
control.
what's going on in the world.
And we can do something about it. I'm a firm believer in change through people, unified people rising up.
And you performed at the Women's March, I understand.
I'm one of the organizers of the Women's March in New York, and in 2017, a small group of us, this is the New York March, not DC, we got together and we were just thought we could get a couple of people together to march, and it ended up being 850,000 people marched. We were a little slightly overwhelmed.
I bet.
And we had so many volunteers, there was not one arrest. It was the most beautiful thing. So then we've done a couple of marches since then. So yes, I did perform in
Good for you.
La Lucha in one of the
I
marches.
was on the
yeah.
number 6 train, and I couldn't get on the train because it was just packed with people. And I
And
was like, what's
positive
going on?
energy, such positive energy, yeah.
And then I realized it was the march.
Yeah.
You're influenced by Bob Marley and
Yes.
Peter Tosh and artists like that. What in your youth did you prepared you for that kind of influence?
That's a great question.
He's good, isn't he?
That's a great question. I mean, I grew up in New York, which is the capital of international music. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. Like the
Yes.
best musicians from around the world. I learned to play reggae by watching, Black Uhuru on stage, or by, the whole Jamaican energy that Bob Marley had is aligned again with the lyrics of the songs that I write. So I've always been interested in reggae, and I had the good fortune actually of playing some songs with Sly and Robbie.
Yes.
On the record. Early on, as a solo artist, Sly and Robbie heard my song Una Ola that you were on, and they said, well, will you write a song with us? So then now I have 3 songs. Each of my albums had a song with Sly and Robbie. So there's some connection, being the groove master that you are, that my music is very groove oriented.
Yes.
I feel like the pulse and rhythms and power of rock and groove of reggae or Latin music can help lift us up, and besides, it's a lot of fun.
And it breaks barriers too, because I've seen you do shows
Exactly.
for kids in Mexico, and they love the music. And I've seen you do shows for older adults in stadiums and play in Colombia.
Colombia,
You
we
played.
played Stadium Canada.
Yeah.
We've toured in Canada together, and in Canada it's interesting because you're singing in Spanish, so you kind of tell them what this message is about, and then they come with you, and then when you tour in Mexico or Colombia or in some parts of the U.S., there are people. The audience is usually mixed. Some are English, Spanish, and they understand the lyrics, but if the music is moving them, that is so motivating to us as musicians,
Right.
and makes us play better, and makes us want to write another album and record again, and that's kind of the magic that happened with reggae finding like Latin music, this fusion of mine. Yeah,
It's exciting.
so exciting.
Do you have a particular place that you like to travel?
Oh wow!
when you perform?
It just so happens, because I sing in Spanish, that Mexico is a very common. I do many tours in Mexico.
Good for you.
I love touring in Colombia, which is your
Your
hometown.
home.
You
That's
know,
right.
your country of birth.
The food was amazing, wasn't it?
In Colombia?
Amazing. La comida, it's reminiscent of food from Ecuador. Ecuador is
Oh,
great.
okay.
Canada's great. The U.S. is great. I mean, so the answer is I love everything.
I grew up in the Midwest, and we had a Mexican population, and we
Same.
had the best Mexican food. That I went through withdrawal after I moved here. It was like there were no Mexicans here. It was more Spanish influenced, and it was very different. But now,
Even playing New York, like
Yeah.
in New York, the Latino population understands the lyrics, but then you have people who are not so familiar with
Right.
with Latin or reggae,
Right.
still dancing.
Yeah.
They're following
That's
the
right.
clave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's new to them, but it's maybe more accessible because some people like electric guitar and I like to wail. So maybe that makes them go, oh, and they don't even understand that maybe there's a Latin rhythm in there, but the people are generally so loving. And, it's just,
Yeah.
we're
When
so
I was
fortunate to be musicians.
yes, and I enjoy watching you and following you, and
Thank
God
you,
bless
and
you.
thank you for inviting me here. It's a thrill.
Yeah,
It's,
and thank
it's-
Alex.
Cecilia has been touted on the internet as one of the best Latina rock guitarists.
Latinx.
See?
It's a new word.
Latinx. That's right.
Latinx.
En el mundo, sí.
Latinx.
I
a
know
great-
I know what that X means. I looked it up.
How does that make you feel? I
Oh,
know
it's so
doing a class next weekend.
Yes, I'm doing a master class with the New York City Mayor's Office. It's a
Oh,
group called
wow.
soundthinking.org. And what's great is it's trying to motivate young girls and boys are invited. It's Sound Thinking is the group that's putting it together, and it's basically inviting kids to bring their instruments, and I'll be on stage guiding them through
wonderful.
a master class. They're high school kids who are interested in music, and some of them want to be some of them want to be drummers.
Right.
Some of them want to be VJs. Some of them want to be,
That's wonderful.
sound engineers, and some want to wail on guitar like I like to. So
It's a lot of work.
It's going to be exciting next
yes,
weekend.
and I think it's really important that people have a music appreciation and they learn the craft, because it's helped me appreciate even more of what you guys do.
It's hard work.
It is.
I mean, you
It's
want to
really dedication.
my mother's amazing, was composer and pianist, and I learned from her that you really have to hone your craft, and you have to respect the instrument, whether it's your voice, your guitar, your song, your drums, your, being an interviewer, my father an actor. So watching them, they were my examples.
That's wonderful.
The more we can teach others and always
important.
learn ourselves, the
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Because you don't want to be an accountant all the time.
We need accountants.
We need them, but we need the arts too. And one thing about Alex, he said, and I tell everyone this, when he was on Broadway, he had to do so many shows, he had an extra 20 hours of work with his legs.
Oh, it's a physical instrument.
It's a physical thing.
Yes.
So that he
also-
couldn't even
yes.
walk home, right? Because he had to preserve the energy in his leg. 20 hours.
Alex is an exceptional musician, and what I love about working with you, Alex, is that you span the rock, reggae,
Oh, yeah.
Latin, this world fusion that I am, and you're exceptional at all of those. Not just on drums, but on percussion. He's a monster percussionist.
Thank
You're
you.
a monster
Yeah.
percussionist.
We have that in common, is
We
that
do.
we both grew up in New York, even though we weren't born here, and we both experienced CBGBs and the whole era of CBGBs, where New York City in that time was a pit of just every type of music. And so every type of musician was here, and that's that helped us to hone
it was our
craft.
music school.
Yeah, totally.
The
When
best,
I was
the best
grown-
of the best.
When I was growing up in the Midwest, I was into disco when everybody was in rock, like our classic rock now.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I was listening to all these different things, and I was like, how can I like so many different kinds of music? Maybe something's wrong with me,
Yes.
I just needed to be in New York.
And here you are.
Yeah, here I am. That's right. But we have a video.
Yes.
Bang Bang, I understand. It's one of your songs on there.
Yes, Bang Bang is a song it's an anti-gun violence song, and it's shedding light on a very touchy subject, and it's interesting. You see what happened in New Zealand, and boom, and here
Yes.
we are years still talking about
That's
it.
incredible.
So it's really again trying to shed light on such a complex topic, and at the end of the song, I kind of wrap all the cities that have had
Yes.
crises, and since we recorded it till now, there have been so many more cities that have had
It's incredible.
issues. So hopefully, it's awareness that I try to
Yeah.
bring with my music and help give voice to the voiceless.
Hay derechos que no tengo el privilegio de la seguridad. En la noche oscuridad con la luna llena de claridad. Claridad. Slam, and New York City.
Very moving.
Great video.
Thank you. It's an
It's
intense
a
time.
worldwide epidemic, isn't it? It's so sad
Yes,
that
it
we
is.
have this issue with gun control worldwide. And
Terrorism.
kudos to you for using your talent to speak out.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know.
you.
You have Aurora in there, and I'm
Yes.
not too far away from, my hometown's not too far away from Aurora, and it's just shocking for us because we feel so safe someplace, and we're not.
We're not.
And there was another town near me, Dixon, Illinois, where a shooter was coming on a high school campus and got thwarted by security there. And you know, they have lockdowns and they have security. It's incredible. It's everywhere. And even
I mean, but I'm totally inspired by the children who are speaking up
Oh,
and making
God
our
bless.
instruments of change. You know, it doesn't take much if you want to end up here and you're headed this way to just turn things just a little. In a couple of years, you'll be here rather than here, and so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for even modest change makes a major difference.
and the Parkland students down in
They're
Florida.
amazing.
Yes, and
They call BS. I mean, they're
yeah, and
telling
which
it like it is.
and they
Yeah.
get death threats and a lot
and
of
they're
media
brave.
criticism.
They're brave.
God
and
bless them.
we
To
need
be that young.
We need to
Support them.
do the right thing by them and speak out and don't let up and persist and resist and don't let up. And that's how change happens. I mean, you know, there's so many examples where that's been the case. So I believe that. I believe
The determination.
I believe in unity being more powerful and power of numbers. You know, us uniting and fighting. Yeah.
The next place you're bringing this message to is Mexico.
Yes,
next month.
a tour in Mexico next month, starting with Guadalajara.
Yeah.
And you know, that's also kind of an example of like, yeah, I'm from the U.S. because I was brought up in New York City and with Latino background, but I want to go to Mexico and say, look, everybody in the U.S. is not happy with the way the border situation is, the mistreatment of immigrants. The
children
get the
are
voice
lost.
up there.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're
How would
excited.
you feel if that happened to you at such young age?
Yeah, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, and we have to use our voice. We have to continue to resist and persist. Resist, vamos, juntos, sí.
And congratulations on putting that women's march together
Oh,
here.
thank you.
That's a lot.
So,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
My show's a little monster, but it's not 850,000 people. You have to get permits, and
Yes,
you have to
and-
get security and police.
And people have contributed and risen up. People do deliver. They want to help people.
Yeah.
Most people want positive change. The Son Resiste is right off the headlines. It's about how we've lost our moral compass, and not us. But certain people in power that have power have lost their moral compass, and that's where we have to say that's not okay. And
it's amazing to
change.
see how divided the country is.
But are people divided on the moral side, or
well,
they have to remember what they're voting, what they're picking? when
Right.
they can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. We all need each other to.
yeah, I've
Pull
kind
out
of
of
been
the-
always kind of down the middle, being an accountant. But I mean, I actually won't work with people who don't have the same political views as myself because I can't support them, and I don't want them part of my show either. You know, it
Because
just
if you,
they don't need me.
That's your
if they're-
voice. That's your choice and your voice.
Yeah.
And thank you for shedding light on that
Yeah.
on your show.
You know, I've never swayed one way or another just because I've worked with the general public, but you know, and you really have to be on the right side of morality. for
Right.
what-
That's the thing. There's amoral and unethical, and that's not a
People's
partisan
lives.
issue.
Yeah.
That's are you a moral person? You know,
And
and
it
then
really-
your choices reflect what you are. So people have to look in the mirror and really think about that. You know, and I'm hopeful because of the youth. I'm hopeful because of the 850,000 people. I'm hopeful because of people like you, because of immigrants like us that are showing good examples. Like, I'm hopeful.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed that, oh, it's just me? You know, it's what impact did
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But my feeling is, when I talk to people, is that you don't know who you're influencing. You know, and if you're speaking and working with young children, I always wanted to work with adults versus children, and then I found out that I had to raise a lot of adult children. It's easier to work with children, get them when they're easily trained. I don't know. You're just laughing at me, I know that.
No, we have to remember that this is the United States of immigrants.
Yeah.
We're all
That's
immigrants.
right.
Yeah.
Only the Native Americans were here, and even they were immigrants through the Bering Strait before that. So this land is the United States of immigrants.
That's
it
right.
started out that way,
That's right.
and it will continue that way. So it's good that you bring that up in a musical and in a human nature sense for everyone.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's
I'd like to see your.
nice to be around like-minded people, and I would love to invite your guests to visit our, my webpage and.
Where can we find you?
And that's eljurimusic.com, eljurimusic.com, and from there you can get to where our shows are and our travels and our music and videos, and I'm oh so grateful to the loving support from fans and friends and media.
You have a professional team working for you. I just want to say that I work with a lot of people.
Alexandra Gacci at Molinville Records
Wonderful.
is great.
That's Alex Gacci.
Alex
Yeah.
Gacci is amazing. You know her quite well. And we also have like Z Collective that were part of the video team that did Bang Bang. And there's a lot of love.
Pye,
There's a lot of
was
love.
it?
Johnny Pye was in the video.
Johnny Pye's also on the record Resista. I've toured with Johnny. He's great.
Yeah.
We should mention that this is your 4th record.
It is. It's the
Yeah.
4th, yeah.
What are the other records?
The first one in 2008 was En Paz, which
Right.
means in peace, which was approaching things from a more peaceful and the world is dangerous kind of place.
That was produced by Yossi Fine.
Yossi Fine.
Great bass player.
How
Great
long
bass
ago
player.
was that?
That was 2008, and Nir Z's on that record, the great drummer, and quite a few other talented people. And then 2012, it was a record called Fuerte, which means strong, when I was a little more frustrated and I had to get, more rock. It was a very rock-driven record, and Alex is on that.
Yeah.
Johnny Pye's on that record.
You
Keith
recorded that in
Golden
L.A.?
Recorded that in L.A., mixed in L.A., and some in Jamaica because of Sly and Robbie.
And who mixed that?
And that was Gustavo Bordner,
Yeah.
who's a great producer.
What is he on his 12th Grammy?
Oh, I think he's in the
12th
20s.
Oh my God.
Oh my
with his
goodness.
Grammys.
Yeah.
He's an amazing. Gustavo Bordner is a great producer. He was born in Argentina, but grew up in, I guess, college forward. So he kind of understood my Latina side of my music, and as well as the rock stuff that was rock and pop in the U.S.
And he's got a really great studio.
Beautiful
out
studio
in
in
LA.
L.A.
Yeah.
At Igloo Studios. We did that record. And then in 2016, it was La Lucha, which means the fight. And La Lucha was recorded in New York, Jamaica, and L.A.
Yeah.
Mixed in L.A., and I produced that record with great talent around me. And Alex, you played many instruments on that record.
I did. I remember I had everything spread out all over the
every percussion
studio.
toy.
I know, he was here one time doing that. It was really incredible.
It's incredible. What a joy.
And I should I want to thank Yamaha for helping me out with the drums. They were very kind to lend us.
They were great.
Some great drum
Yamaha's
sets.
great, and Gibson guitars. I'm a Gibson guitarist.
Yeah.
So Les Pauls are my favorite guitars, but they were very supportive of Eljuri and my work, which I appreciate.
We taped some shows there at the showroom.
Yeah, we used to rehearse there. We've had
Oh,
rehearsals
wonderful.
and beautiful space, and you did tape some shows. It's great for interviews there. Yeah. Some
Well, we're down to
remarkable
our
history.
last 2 minutes, minute and a
Okay.
half. Wow. So tell us again where we can find you.
Yes, Eljuri Music, eljurimusic.com is the website. And that's also the Facebook page is Eljuri Music, Instagram is Eljuri Music, YouTube is Eljuri Music, but Twitter is Eljuri, at Eljuri, not Eljuri Music. For
You're going to have
some
to
reason.
trademark that name.
Well, it's my name.
Yes, yeah.
Cecilia Villar Eljuri, and that's where it comes from, my mother's side.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's
for
wonderful to meet you.
incredible and
God
invitation.
bless.
And let's,
Yes.
Thank you, Cecilia.
Sí, un placer, señor.
Bring in
A
some of your
treat.
students. you know?
Oh yeah, no, this is a one-time master
Oh, okay.
workshop. I did do one in Mexico too,
Okay.
and did one in Canada.
Good for you.
But generally, they're special.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but Joe's Pub, I think it's on August 8th.
In New York, the next show is Joe's Pub, August 8th.
August
Yes.
8th, yes.
Yes.
I'm not going on vacation until I see that show. I was
Oh,
like,
good.
yeah, I have it in my
Yes,
calendar.
yes,
I can't
you
go
have
on
to-
vacation
you have to
yet.
come,
You know,
you
I
have
have to
to
see
come.
your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our next show in
Great.
in
Thanks,
New York.
Alistair, for coming in again. Yeah.
Absolutely. A pleasure to be here, and it's been fun. Every show, we've had a
Thank
great
you.
time.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in this afternoon show of Ginger New York.